This short video outlines the basics of citing sources in MLA format. By the end, you should be able to answer this question: how can I effectively and ethically use information? An additional video link is provided at the end of the Citation Central guide as an additional resource, and I recommend watching this after the presentation. It lasts just under 2 minutes and will be well worth your time. Properly citing your sources is key to conducting yourself with academic integrity and avoiding plagiarism, which is a form of cheating. Citing also helps readers to find the information you used in your paper. It demonstrates that you respect the other's works and that you backed up your own ideas with other studies. Not citing sources is a direct violation of the Texas University Statement of Academic Integrity. The MLA formatting citation style is used most often in the humanities fields like art and literature. Two key features are that the author's full name is provided and the publication date is last, or nearly last, in the bibliographic entry. In this general format example, notice the word container. In the context of MLA formatting, it refers to what holds or contains the item you are citing. One example is a post title on a blog. The blog name becomes the container of the post. Here is another example. An article is a very common resource that you will cite, whether you're writing a paper or just completing a project. Notice there are 3 titles. The article title is within quotation marks, and the magazine or journal title is in italic font. Then we have a third title, where the library database can be named as the container title. Here you would cite the online database like LexisNexis or JSTOR Science Direct, or in this example, Elsevier's SD Freedom Collection, or other subscription services. Then we have the DOI or URL of the source. A DOI stands for a Digital Object Identifier and serves as a direct link to the article on any browser. If a DOI is not provided or you can't find one, use the URL instead. Provide the date of access also if you'd like. Here's an example of what a book bibliographic entry looks like. It tends to be quite simple, yet details are important. Pay attention to the punctuation, font formats, and the order in which these elements appear. All of these details help the reader to identify which element is which so that they can track back to this original source to use in their own work or to learn more about it. Notice that the full name of the first author is provided, followed by et al., which means and others. To help us simplify citations, we can use this abbreviation to avoid listing several names. The book title is in italic font, and the first letter of every word is capitalized. The last 2 items are the publisher and publication or copyright date. Notice that there is a period after the author information and a comma in between each of the other elements, followed by a period at the end. Part of citing your sources is to also include in-text citations. Your bibliographic entries should not be included if there is not an in-text citation, and an in-text citation should not be in your paper if there isn't a full bibliographic entry at the end. Both of these pieces need to be present in order to completely cite properly. So you'll notice that I've got a Purdue University full citation noted here at the end, and I've included an in-text citation in parentheses at the end of this quoted piece of information. Purdue, comma, MLA in text in quotations, all surrounded by parentheses, is my in-text citation. You need to include the first, the text that appears as the first item in your works cited entry. That's where Purdue comes from here. And I'll show you later on, but in my list of references, I have 3 resources that start with Purdue. If I only included the word Purdue, then my reader wouldn't know which one I'm referring to. That's why I need to include part of the title in order to differentiate this resource. Looking back at our original examples, we use the first word of this full bibliographic entry in the in-text citation along with the page number where a quoted text or paraphrased information appeared. So the first chunk of information is the full bibliographic entry that appears at the end of my work. And within the text of my writing, within the paragraphs, within the sentences, if I'm using information from this source, I need to tell the reader where that information came from by using this in-text citation in parentheses, which is the author's last name and a page number. Lunsford, 225 would be an acceptable in-text citation when I'm using information from this resource, Introduction to College Rhetoric and Inquiry. The 225 number is just a page number, so that will change depending on what you're using and where the information came from. Every time you write a paper or consult other sources for a project, use one of these tools as you construct your citations and format your work. These links are provided at the bottom of the Citation Central Guide. Here are my sources cited for this short presentation. Notice how the list is alphabetized by the first name or word of the bibliographic entry. Then the second line, where there is one, of that full citation is indented. When referencing one of these sources as an in-text citation, use the first word along with a page number or a portion of the title to add specificity where needed. Like I said, to add clear in-text citations using one of my 3 Purdue resources or any other source where it starts with the same word or author's name, you'll need to include that second piece of information for clarity. If I just use the word Purdue in my in-text citation, the reader won't know which one I'm referencing because there are 3 here and it could have been any one of them. So in MLA formatting, I will use a portion of the title, such as what I did in that example from slide 8.